So I left Scientology. I'm no longer a Scientologist. And I have been sharing about my journey for the last year and a half, my spiritual journey. So I've used terms like witchcraft, Luciferian, Hollywood cult, New Age. The Lord is so good because I asked him, please put the words in my mouth that you want me to say. Please work through me. And I just feel this un, like unreal sense of joy, no pun intended, sharing this with you because I've been holding it back for a long time. I've been writing my memoir and my book. I also know I will get a lot of hate. I will get attacked. My family will get attacked because if you don't know, Scientology is a dangerous, abusive, allegedly, cult, not allegedly. I was in Scientology for 15 years. And this is my story. This is my testimony. I started in 2011 when my parents, well, my dad was still alive, but my mom had passed away. I'd given a child up for adoption. I'd come from an abusive relationship, thrown against the wall at 4 months pregnant. I'd been sexually abused, had SA happen to me as a child, was involved in a lot of underground stuff. Pictures surfaced of me. That was in my hurt and my pain, burlesque. I mean, stripping. I was trafficked into trafficking work. I'm trying to make this family friendly, but you guys can, put it in there and do the details. The thing is, I never intended to join a cult. Nobody ever intends to join a cult. But I started in a very abused situation and I had been trafficked by an acting agency. And it was a year before I quit everything. I went to rehab. I thought I'm an alcoholic. I had a psychotic break, a mental episode where I passed out. I was on psych drugs for a couple weeks. I was in a psych hospital. And then what ended up happening, fast forward to the Hollywood lifestyle. I was raised in Santa Barbara, California. We moved to Burbank and I, got into the Hollywood lifestyle. And I'm sober now and I get cast in a fashion show at the Celebrity Center International. And it's amazing. I'm sharing this story. I never thought I'd be here. I never intended to be here. This is God. And I'm going to probably cry. I'm kind of shaking right now as I tell you the story. So I went to an modeling show at Celebrity Center, Church of Scientology in Hollywood, the big French castle. If you know, you know. It's also a hotel at the top, which I ended up living in that hotel not too long after for 6 years on and off with my ex-husband. And crazy expensive, crazy glamorous, crazy beautiful. You have Sea Org members who get $50 a week working there, slaving away for you, making your beds. They're the sweetest people. First, I also want to say, do not attack Scientologists. The upper echelon and the cult itself is evil. David Miscavige is evil. L. Ron Hubbard, the founder, is evil. But the people who are Scientologists are broken and lost just like I was. And I have many thousands of associates, and I would have called them friends, who are going to be shocked and who are going to be told I'm a suppressive person. They're going to have to block me. But please don't attack them. This is not about that. I just want to say that. This is my testimony. Works in Scientology is like family to me. They're not evil people individually, but the corporation, the business, it is not a religion. It is a cult built on satanic principles. It is witchcraft. It is deception. That is evil. There are evil people within Scientology for sure. And the upper echelon, just like anything, is evil. But, he gave me the personality test, gave me the tour, signed me up on my first course. I had to your girl could dip her toes in. I got to ask God for forgiveness. So that's all I wanted was love. All I wanted was a family. And when my dad died, I was already entrenched in Scientology. I was working for the Scientology Center in Sherman Oaks. They're called organizations. And I became a staff member. But then I tried to join the Sea Org. They recruited me for the Sea Org. I signed a 1 billion-year contract. 1 billion years. So Scientology believes that we are all eternal beings and that children are just old beings. That's why they can excuse a lot of abuses. And at first I thought this was good. If you say everybody's lived, trillions of lifetimes and they're all equal and we're all old ancient beings, it directly contradicts the Bible, mind you. But it sounded like a good idea at the time. And we can respect people and say, wow. And who doesn't have memories of doing things that you go, was that from a past life? It's very dangerous because that's the witchcraft. It's a boiling frog, Joy Tribe. It is not, they don't hit you over the head with it. Life improvement courses, counseling, they call it pastoral counseling. They make you do confessions like you're Catholic, except you pay thousands of dollars. 12 and a half hours of counseling session is on average $5,000. over $200 a session. Sea Org, which is their fraternal internal order, spiritual fraternal order that's run like the military. I did their boot camp for 30 days. I was not allowed into the Sea Org fully, but they said I wasn't ready. And so, but I would have a program to work on. I actually enjoyed that boot camp. We had a lot of fun. Again, I'm a young, naive artist who's just trying to find my way in Hollywood. And you might be like, where was your dad all this time? I didn't tell my dad what I was doing. I hid a lot from him. And I would have nightmares that my dad would find out and he'd be mad at me. So when you join the Sea Org, you live on their base in Los Angeles, PAC base, the big blue building. It was mentally torture. That's the worst thing. They would tell me I'm not good enough, that I have overts, I have sins. It was always do the next level, always do the next level, always do the next level, always do the next level. You're just exhibiting signs of the next level until the clutches were around my throat so much that I felt like I couldn't escape, that there was something wrong with me and that Scientology would fix it. They tell you that. They train you to say those things. They use CIA operative mind control techniques. How do I know that? Because I've watched CIA operatives reveal mind control techniques. I've read the books. It's the exact same things as Scientology. And I've run it out of it, potheads and drugs and abuse and using. And so I said, these people like me. And there's people trafficked in Scientology from other countries. They take their passports, they offer them religious visas. And those poor people, they're stuck there signing billion-year contracts. Now, I don't believe you can sell your soul, but if you can, and you can make contracts with Satan. And that's what I did. Scientology is satanic. This is what all of those things are missing. L. Ron Hubbard studied Satanism. He was a Luciferian. Babylon working. He worked with Jack Parsons of Jet Propulsion Labs in the 1960s.